Yo, yo, yo! I got that fixed now. We're gonna have notifications if someone sends me a chat message in there.
Different kinds of herbs, barks, and
Yep,
roots.
got it.
This was very much a time of experimentation, though, and through experimenting, favorites started to emerge. Some of the favorites were sassafras, ginger, sarsaparilla, hops, vanilla beans, allspice, and a ton more. Basically, anything that they had access to and they thought would taste good, they wanted to throw it in this small beer recipe. Once you picked your favorite root sparks and whatever other additives you wanted, you would then extract the flavor from these ingredients by heating them slowly in water to produce a wort. A wort is basically the base liquid mixture that you have derived from a fruit. A sweetener is then added to the wort, and there were a few options when it came to
It's not a liquid mixture, bro, at that point.
including honey, maple syrup, or molasses. Molasses was one of the more popular ones because it was the cheapest and added a nice flavor and color to the small beers. More water is then added to this sweetened wort, or whatever yeast you want to add to this mixture at this time. This mixture would then be put in a barrel for fermentation, and if a higher alcohol beverage was desired by the family, it would be left in these barrels for a few weeks to a few months. If the goal of the drink was to have almost no alcohol,
We're not soldiers. We're a team.
food after the players need to stop the fermentation process. These families believe that the small beer beverages they made were
Don't be fooled. I'm a man of
It's only
science.
over when it's over.
very much increased the quality of the drink. The addition of heat and alcohol would very much manage the unwanted microbes in the final product, thus making their drinking water a little bit healthier.
This is your champion.
The term heat beer is said to have first been commercially marketed at the Philadelphia Centennial Exhibition.
I'm the jump master. AJ leading the way.
Myers is credited for discovering the recipe for alcohol on its honeycomb. He would then introduce this commercial version.
I'm the jump master, taking the flight to the fights. I feel most alive when we should probe that sector over there.
The product was a dry concentrate of 60 degrees of water set in its using the residential water. In 1890, the Charles
Watch out, enemy landing near me.
about 30 years later,
Getting some damage over here. Broke their shield now. Deploying health drone.
It's Mamani says, my bad.
When talking about the history of root beer, it's worth mentioning that sassafras was a main ingredient in root beer for much of the early years. Unfortunately, the United States Federal Administration found that saffrole in sassafras was a carcinogen, and in the 1960s, root beer demand took a big hit because of this FDA ban on saffrole in the United States. There was also a sarsaparilla syrup that was introduced years before root beer, and because of that, it's commonly referred to as the father of root beer. But sarsaparilla also contained this cancer-causing agent saffron, so it slowly faded away. Commercial root beer brewers had to reconfigure their recipes due to this ban with other roots and flavors to recreate the missing flavors and sassafras. I do believe that companies found a way to remove the carcinogen from sassafras and sarsaparillas, and some microbreweries are producing juices from saffron beer companies. Most big root beer companies that you're familiar with today are relatively unchanged for the last few decades. I guess they're very much in the mindset of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And with that being said, without looking too hard, you can definitely find some really great alcoholic and non-alcoholic root beer options coming out of breweries around the United States. So there you have it. The next time you have a root beer, or you see one at the store, you can both impress and aggravate your friends with how much smarter you are than them. Anyway, if you like the history of this episode, go ahead and check this one.
Oh yeah, I'm smarter than you because I know about root
An
beer.
organization called the Denver Basic Income Project, or DBIP, has been conducting a study in which around 800 homeless people are given a guaranteed income. Now, the money seems to have helped some of the participants find housing and get a little bit of financial security in their lives. But the study also reports that some have experienced worse mental health, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But first, I want to focus on
Yeah, because people who are homeless have a mental health issue for the most, not for the most, there's a lot of them that have mental health issues. Not giving them money is
basically followed 802 homeless adults. Homelessness was defined by the study as individuals without fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. So not everyone was living on the streets. We're talking about people who could be crashing on someone's couch, maybe staying in shelters. Now, it's important to keep in mind that individuals with severe and unaddressed mental health issues and or substance abuse issues were not eligible for this study. So they are not included in the sample. And that is important to keep in mind, because when we talk about how to kind of structure our social safety net, having a one-size-fits-all policy like UBI is not gonna cut it, right? I think that you do need like this mosaic of different programs that address various needs. So, also important note is that not every participant in this study got the same amount of money. They actually divided them up into three
Today's
subgroups.
not gonna be
So
easy.
Group A is receiving $1,000 a month for 12 months, which of course totals $12,000 a year. The second group starts off with a lump sum of $6,500, and then they get another $500 a month after that for a year. Okay, again totals to $12,000. And then Group C gets far less. They get $50 a month for 12 months. So they only get a total of $600. Now the study was intended to follow the participants for a full year, but they decided to release an interim report with the data coming from the first 6 months of the study. And so how did
Jump Master Fuse at your service.
Let's take a look at this first graph. It'll show you how the participants had an easier time finding housing of their own. So they're living in an apartment that they rent or own. Before the study, about 8% of them, basically, for Group A, I should say, the number increased from 8% to 34%. In Group B, to the individuals who got the lump sum and then $500 a month after that, you see the biggest increase in housing going from 5% to 40%. And even in Group C, which only received $50 a month, the number increased from 11 to 31%, which is kind of incredible. So conversely, the number of participants sleeping in a shelter decreased following 6 months of this study, and that is what you are seeing in this graph. So in Group A, the number decreased from 22% to 11%. In Group B, the number decreased from 26% to 10%. And in Group C, the number decreased from 21% to 9%. And then finally, the number of people sleeping outside in Denver also dropped as a result of this. So for Group A, it went from 6% to 0%. Group B, 10% to 3%. And in Group C, you see the number going from 8% to 4%. So universal basic income obviously has some positive benefits.
First blood. Good
The
thing
way
it's not
it's
us.
implemented, should it become a widespread policy, really does matter. I think that there are, the devil's in the details. But nonetheless, this is certainly promising information. By the way, the reason why I say that is that, these are also individuals who happen to be receiving other government benefits, right? So it's not that they're receiving no help at all, and they're just getting this one-time payment every month, or the lump sum, and then the $500 every month after. No. They're getting other government benefits in addition to that. And some of them are also working. A lot of them are working part-time jobs, or they're borrowing money from a friend. So you can't really look at UBI in a vacuum. When you look at the sample, you can tell that there are other forms of financial aid they're receiving.
So whenever you give people who really need money some degree of money, it makes a giant difference in their lives. A good example of that is the child tax credit. So it happened in the first year of Biden's term, and it reduced child poverty by a stunning number. I forget exactly what it was now. It's we covered a couple of years ago, but it was a number that was just shocking, because it turns out those were people that were right on the edge
Care package being
And when they got the
delivered.
child tax credit, it allowed them
You
to
hear
take care of
that?
the children. And
There's
have
a care
little bit
package
left
coming
over,
down.
etc. They made a big difference in their lives. Part of the reason, by the way, why wages went up too, is it gave them the freedom to be able to, look for a job that paid better, etc. There's so many different factors that go into it. Now, I've always been a little bit skeptical of universal basic income because I'm worried that it's a short-term fix. And can we really keep it going? And how long can we keep it going? And I wouldn't want it. So some programs are better when you give it to everyone, like Social Security. Because if you don't give it to the rich, then they go, well, then we don't want it. They cut all the funding. And that happened with public schools, for example. But with universal basic income, whenever I've seen any study, and there was a different one in Northern California once, where you try and give it to just the right people, right? The people who can use it and really need it, it makes a big impact in their lives, and you can see it in the numbers. So it makes me more open-minded towards universal basic income, because this is good data. Now, at the same time, it's just a beginning. We have to see how long it lasts, especially for anything that's temporary. Does it stick, right? And how or do you have to keep on giving the money, and at some point do they rise above it, etc. So there's so many things to track. I don't think this data is enough to say that's it. We should all definitely do it, but at the same time, it's definitely good news for this program. It wound up helping a lot of people.
Yeah, and look, I have a little bit of a bone to pick on how this was reported on Business Insider, because Business Insider, their takeaway was, you see, people like to blame homelessness on drug addiction and mental health issues, but in reality, people just need money, right? Like, that was the point they were trying to make. No, but this study literally said people with mental health issues and drug addiction problems are not eligible to participate in this study.
That's not true.
And
It said
mentioned
severe.
that because homelessness, I know some people get real offended by this, even though it's just the reality. Homelessness is a complex issue. For some people, it's because of the unaffordable nature of housing. It's because of the housing crisis. For some people, it actually is because they have severe mental health issues and they don't even know what's going on, right? They're just, they're not even cognizant of the surroundings that they're existing in. I mean, you see it every single day, and then there are people who are struggling with drug addiction. So
Come and get
the
your
only
birthday
problem I have
present.
is when UBI is presented as like the end-all, be-all, one-size-fits-all approach. When in reality, it could be part of the puzzle that really does help improve people's lives. But it is also important
Just
to
giving my
address
kids a
homelessness
recharge.
and the complexities involved in homelessness as well.
Yeah, 100%. And look, guys, common sense, man. And sometimes our ideologies, we said ideologies from decades ago, block us from using common sense.
Listen
So
up, I'm getting shot at.
if you give this money property, back up on their feet, etc. If you give it to someone who's got a massive drug addiction, guess what they're going to do with it? They're going to buy more drugs. So if you're on the left and you think, no, you're dispersing.
Round 2. Beginning ring countdown.
You're gonna have to move at my speed to make the next ring.
Was defined by the study as individuals without fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. So not everyone was living on the streets. We're talking about people who could be crashing on someone's couch, maybe staying in shelters. Now, it's important to keep in mind that individuals with severe and unaddressed mental health issues and or substance abuse issues. Now, it's important to keep in mind that individuals with severe and
Hell yeah.
unaddressed mental health issues and or substance substance abuse issues were not
Care package over there.
eligible for this study.
Where
Widespread policy really does matter, and I think that there are, the devil's in the details. But nonetheless, this is certainly promising information. By the way, the reason why I say that is because, these are also individuals who happen to be receiving other government benefits, right? So it's not that they're receiving no help at all, and they're just getting this one-time payment every month, or the lump sum, and then the $500 in a vacuum. When you look at the
tax credit. So it happened a couple years ago.
Champ's
They
out of
allowed them
commish.
To agree that it's a short-term fix and security because whatever, right? The people who can't income because this thing, right? And how track.
Yeah, and look, I have a little bit of a bone to pick on how this was reported on Business Insider, because Business Insider, their takeaway was, you see, people like to blame homelessness on drug addiction and mental health issues, but in reality, people just need money, right? Like, that was the point they were trying to make. No, but... This study literally said people with mental health issues and drug addiction problems are not eligible. Participate in the study. And I mention that because homelessness, I know some people get real offended by this even though it's just the reality. Homelessness is a complex issue. For some people, it's because of the unaffordable nature of housing, it's because of the housing crisis. For some people, it actually is because they have severe mental health issues and they don't even know what's going on, right? They're just, they're not even cognizant of the surroundings that they're existing in.
I can't deal with Anna. That's not... Anna, what the fuck? You don't know anything. You didn't know that? No, most people don't know that
The
about you,
eternal
to be
vape
honest.
versus cigarettes debate is still raging on. In the red corner, you have cigarettes, the established foul-smelling way to intake your nicotine with years of research behind its effects. In the blue corner, you have the newcomer, vapes, with little research behind their effects and nice-smelling clouds of nicotine to mask their dangerous nature. They've
Bro,
become
we
a crowd
talking
favorite.
nicotine?
But which alternative is worse for your health? First, let's take a look at smoking. You can smoke lots of things, obviously. Since we here at the Infographic Show don't want to condone anything illegal, let's assume smoking means regular tobacco cigarettes. Tobacco is the common name for plants of Nicotiana genus, a type of leafy herbaceous plant native to North and South America. Though one tobacco subspecies, Nicotiana suaveolens, is found on the east coast of Australia. Tobacco plants are a member of the nightshade family, a group of plants that also includes tomatoes and eggplants. The leaves contain a type of neurotoxin called nicotine, which acts as a natural insecticide and makes the plant unappealing to most plant-eating animals. But as we've seen throughout history with things like magic mushrooms and ghost peppers, a plant being poisonous and tasting unpleasant has never deterred humans from putting it in their mouths. Tobacco leaves have always been incredibly popular among the indigenous people of the Americas, with archaeological evidence suggesting that medicinal, recreational, and spiritual use of the plant dates back over 12,000 years. Even today, tobacco is an important part of religious rites and political agreements for the Native Americans. You've probably seen the Native characters in cowboy movies smoking peace pipes before. Well, that's only one ceremonial use of tobacco in Native American culture. It's also given as an offering to the gods.
My number one fan's watching, so you know I'll be fantablistic.
It's a crucial part of their purification rituals performed in a sweat lodge. When Europeans first colonized the world, many discoveries they brought back with them, and it was an instant hit. Like the Native Americans, Europeans took to using it as a stimulant, decongestant, and topical painkiller. But they also started smoking it recreationally. Doctors raved about its effects in medical
Introducing your
journals.
champion.
One Spanish doctor even claimed it could cure 36 different illnesses. In 1571, in the 1600s, there was even a popular song by Tobias Hume called "Tobacco is Like Love."
Be
But like a
careful.
lot of things
I
that
don't
were
wear all
used
this gear for
medicinally,
nothing.
1600s, tobacco's
We should
supposed
land there.
benefits
Looks
were
like
later
fun.
shown to
Your
come with some
efforts were
pretty serious side
electrocute.
effects. You're not watching this video from the 1600s, presumably. So we probably don't need to tell you that smoking tobacco is actually really bad for you. So let's go through all the negative health effects of smoking tobacco. First off, while nicotine is a very effective stimulant,
Let's go over there. I'm bored
it's
here.
extremely potent if
Heard that.
consumed in large enough doses. And considering the lead of Nicotiana tobacco,
Why are you-
tobacco plants most often used to make
What?
cigarettes, contains about 20,000 parts per million of nicotine. It's very possible to use some of the benefits of smoking up. On the mild end, nicotine poisoning can cause nausea, lightheadedness, nightmares, uncontrollable hiccuping, flatulence. On the severe end, it can cause vasoconstriction, the shrinking of blood vessels, heart palpitations, diarrhea, severe anxiety, and even death. That's bad enough on its own. But when you combine that with the fact that nicotine is also highly addictive, you got yourself a potentially lethal cocktail.
Already in the next inning, I smell victory.
G7 Scout here.
You can still get nicotine poisoning from chewing nicotine gum and topical patches that smokers use to clean
Attention.
themselves.
Adrio
First
1 here.
Worse than the nicotine itself is the
Doesn't have my
serious amount of
sleeves,
chemicals produced in the cigarette by the
Extra
curing process.
supplies.
Tobacco
First
has to be
blood,
dried
putting
and
its
sunk
nut
before
us.
being sold. This decreases the potency of the nicotine and makes it safer to consume. However, that decreased potency is quickly canceled out by the chemicals that are added during the curing
Hemlock
process.
here.
These chemicals are meant to improve the smoking experience by doing things like helping the tobacco and cigarette wrapper burn at a more even rate and helping the body process the nicotine. But most of these chemicals are also poisonous in their own right. According to the American Lung Association, among the 600 chemicals that make up your average cigarette are ammonia, acetone, methanol, butane, and carbon monoxide. Some of those chemicals might sound familiar, so let's quickly elaborate. Ammonia is one of the chemicals that your body flushes out when you pee. It's typically also used to bleach hair and as a component of explosives. Acetone is commonly available as a paint remover. Butane is highly flammable and normally sold as barbecue fuel. Carbon monoxide isn't really used for anything, but it is a byproduct of gas stoves and fireplaces. and
Already
is
in
so
the next
toxic
ring.
you
I
rarely
smell
hear
victory.
about it outside of the
That smells
city.
like-
Make sure to replace the batteries in your carbon monoxide detector. Cigarettes also contain formaldehyde, a preservative used to embalm dead bodies and museum specimens. These chemicals are already pretty scary, but the addition of fire to the equation makes things even more sketchy, as it causes those 600 chemicals to combine and remix into more than 7,000 new compounds. At least 69 of these chemicals are proven to be carcinogenic, which is just a fancy way of saying they cause cancer. One of these compounds is freebase nicotine, which reaches your brain much faster than normal nicotine. In addition to the increased risk for pretty much every type of cancer, smoking also increases your risk of stroke, heart disease, osteoporosis, vision problems, and diabetes. That's a result of the vasoconstriction that we mentioned earlier. When your veins shrink, oxygen can't be distributed through your body as efficiently, and that leads to a whole host of chronic health conditions. One of the most gruesome side effects of smoking is the fact that a lot of those chemical compounds stick around in your lungs, even after you've exhaled. These compounds bind together with burnt particulates that enter your lungs along with the smoke, combining together into a sticky black substance called PAR, which can seriously clog up your lungs and cause long-term breathing problems. Another big health risk of smoking tobacco is secondhand smoke. This is the reason why smoking indoors is banned in most places, and public smoking is restricted to Once they open cigarettes in an enclosed area, all those fun chemicals dissipate into the air, meaning that if you smoke indoors, you expose everyone around you to the same chemicals that you're putting into your own body. Obviously, it's a much smaller amount, but it can still be a significant health risk. Studies have shown that repeated exposure to secondhand smoke can increase the risk of stroke by 20 to 30% and increase the risk of heart disease by 5 to 30%. And if that wasn't bad enough, a study published in the National Library of Medicine has suggested that there might be one-third of smoke. Sounds crazy, but it's true according to the researchers. You can even be exposed to carcinogens left behind on surfaces that someone has recently smoked around. So yeah, your school health class teacher was not lying. And those scary PSAs you saw on YouTube...
Are you guys even gonna talk? You're just gonna steal my shit and not even talk?
No wonder so many people are now quitting smoking and switching to vape.
My bad, bro.
It's so much cleaner and less addictive. And
My bad, bro.
Most vape juices still contain nicotine. Even some of the ones that advertise themselves as nicotine-free. Well, that's a bummer. Already, that's a mark against vaping. Since everything we already said about the nicotine in cigarettes is also true.
Go on, watch out.
The history of vaping is much shorter than the history of cigarettes. While tobacco companies have been researching nicotine vaporizers and smokeless alternatives to cigarettes since the 60s, the first commercially available electronic cigarette was invented in 2003 by pharmacist Han Lick. Han was a heavy smoker, but after his father's death from lung cancer, he decided to quit. But like a lot of people, he struggled to quit. In 2001, he had the idea to patent an electronic alternative to cigarettes that would vaporize the nicotine and give people trying to quit something to mimic the sensation of holding a cigarette. Han had lofty goals for his invention, hoping that someday it would replace cigarettes.
Charge rifle here.
Unfortunately, it seems that might not work out. As of the writing of this video, Han Lick has still not successfully quit smoking. Since their invention in 2003, e-cigarettes are now more commonly known as vapes and have evolved into a variety of styles ranging from those designed to look like cigars or pipes to more futuristic designs that can cost up to $200. Regardless of what they look like, most vapes work the same way. They have a mouthpiece, a heating element, a microprocessor, a battery, and a cartridge, which is loaded with e-liquid or vape juice. The atomizer contains a heating element and a wicking material that draws the juice out of the cartridge where it gets vaporized by the heating element, hence the name. Once the liquid is vaporized,
enemy over there. Let's explore that way.
Cigarette smoke. On the face of it, it sounds a lot cleaner than smoking. It's basically just breathing in steam with a bit of nicotine, right? Well,
probably go
like
third.
Cigarettes, it's not just the nicotine that you have to worry about.
Really?
Vaping really took off in the West in the 2010s when it evolved its own subculture. The explosion of popularity was so fast, despite most countries not yet having regulations in place, bootleg e-liquid started showing up on the markets. And just like with alcohol during
Enemy over
Prohibition,
there.
most of the
Might be
bootleg stuff
something
wasn't
good that
exactly
way.
made with consumer safety in mind. Back in 2019, the United States experienced
Replicator
an
on
outbreak
its
of
way
over
down.
1,600 cases of unexplained lung injury, 34 of which were fatal. The victims of this mystery illness had one
What's the
major
plan?
in common. They were all vapors. 92% of patients admitted they've been using black market THC.
Guaranteed to be someone around, so we could keep rotating around the POI, or we can go straight in.
Hostile spotted. Zip line over there. Might
Two
be
teams
something
there.
good that way.
I'd say we third it though.
The lung injury, which doctors now call e-cigarette or vaping associated
It is risky.
or VBALI for short, is primarily caused by an additive called vitamin acetate, which is a type of
Never mind.
Evo shield here. Level
Got my
shield.
purple shield.
Research has suggested that while vitamin E acetate is harmless when applied externally, it might have adverse effects
Especially
on
with
lung functionality
our friend
and Though this
chilling
is a
over there.
remaining theory, the reality is EVALI could really be caused by any number of
I want to go into a 1v or a 2v6.
At first glance,
Extra supplies over here.
seems pretty simple. Most e-liquids contain propylene glycol, which is pretty common in
Phoenix
foods and
Kitcha.
medicine as a solvent.
Go.
It serves as a
No.
liquid
Come and get your birthday gift.
If the e-liquid doesn't use propylene, it'll probably use
Flatline here.
glycerin. On food purpose, but creates a denser vapor. With
Evo
those as a
shield here.
base,
Level
the rest of the
3.
ingredients are nicotine,
Someone scanned me.
whatever food coloring and flavoring the manufacturers feel like adding. A lot of people would look at those
It's moving.
ingredients and not see a problem. The kinds of flavorings and additives in e-liquids are probably also found in most kinds of soda. So what's the issue?
Got some
Well,
cool
what they're
med
not
kits.
taking into account electronic atomizers instead of fire. They're still creating carcinogenic substances, even out of non-toxic materials.
Oh, they're right here. There's the door. 126. Go back in. Whoa, they're at the.
I'm spotted. Taking fire. Just giving my shields a recharge.
Check it out. Care package coming in. It also occurs naturally in some wines. Sounds pretty tasty, but trust us when we say you do not want this stuff in your lungs. That's because if it does, you might develop a chronic condition called bronchiolitis obliterans. This nasty illness
I'm getting shot at. Hostile right here.
Oh, motherfucker. That guy's hurt if you kill him.
But since it's still approved by the FDA, still must be approved through products. Probably gas flavored vape juice is one of them. A 2016 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives reported that out of 51 liquid flavors, 39 contain another chemical. As you can probably guess, is found in cinnamon, has been shown to impair lung function in a study done by the University of North Carolina. These are just two examples, and given how inconsistent vape liquid production tends to be, that could just be the tip of the iceberg. Overwhelmingly, the advice from medical professionals tends to be that if it's not air, it shouldn't be going in your lungs. This is because it can disrupt movements of the lung cilia. Cilia are the little hair-like structures inside the lungs that move in regular wave patterns. Their job is to push bacteria and other nasties up and out of the lungs so they can be coughed out. Cinnamaldehyde, formaldehyde, and a bunch of other chemicals that end in aldehyde can have a paralytic effect on the lung cilia, which can take weeks to recover from. During that time, your lungs are missing a crucial line of defense against infection. Like we said before, formaldehyde is often added to cigarettes, and the effects of that on lung cilia of regular smokers have been well documented. The fact that other aldehydes, even the ones that are safe to eat, can have the same effect when added to vape liquid and inhaled is a relatively new discovery. Alright, so now we've explained the science behind the effects of both. It's time to answer the question, is vaping really healthier than smoking cigarettes?
Johnny Manziel Day. We didn't do any research. Zero research, and we definitely didn't watch any film. Oh, zero. Zero.
Dude, I was there. I was there too. I was there. And I was getting the reports of zero. That shit, that is real. How do you go to the GM coach and say, hey man, look, Johnny don't know nothing. He ain't look at no film. I tried to stay in my lane at that time. It was kind of a hairy situation. You know, it's up in the air whether or not there was congruence of thought in that draft selection, let's say. So we knew what it was, and at that time, it was more like me, you know? Yeah, that was a wild time, man.
Breaking bones and breaking hearts. 5 decades running. Ready to go.
We've got a job to do, so shift your carcass.
Introducing your champion.
You all think you'll make it out of this alive?
I'm the jump master. AJ Shea, lead them
Most
away.
experts would probably tell you, yes, but can you bear? Your liquid contains less nicotine.
This
than
might be a
average
good place
cigarette.
to land.
It usually doesn't contain acetone or nicotine.
Perfect.
But that doesn't
Darth
automatically
Vader
make
in
it
our
a healthier
chat.
alternative. In fact, given that the effects of vaping still aren't fully understood, it is likely that new information could come out
Chewbacca.
sometime in the future that proves it's just as bad for you.
Put
as
on your
cigarettes.
mama.
What
The
about
fuck?
the commonly heard claim that
My mom's been
vaping
dead for
can
20 years, you
smoke?
out-of-town stupid dumbass.
Get ready.
Out of
Moving
town?
out.
Is that the best you got? Bro, I'm out of state. I'm out of fucking country.
Do you not even know what that means? Are you not from Chicagoland?
I'm aware of the
Obviously.
meaning.
Obviously you're not. No, you don't know the meaning if you're just out of town. What?
It's like 1,000.
Out of town? I don't know what that means.
God.
It's a fucking criticism of you if you understood it.
Watch yourself.
Criticism's
Showing
not
it,
accepted here.
it's talking about your
What the
intelligence.
fuck you mean?
It's talking about how you're so fucking dumb that you must be from out of town. You're not from the area. You don't understand
You're
it.
not impressing anyone.
Who am I supposed to impress? Do you see my girlfriend next to me?
You're
No.
trying
What am I?
to
I'm
impress
trying to
me
impress
by your
another
intellect,
dude?
and I
Are you
don't
out of your? Yeah.
literally give a
Again,
crap.
you're out of town stupid. You think I'm impressing a dude? What the fuck's wrong with you, bro?
Please stop.
I'm a
I'm
hetero.
just trying to-
Sorry. Sorry,
I'm
buddy.
literally just trying to enjoy a game. Shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Sounds like you're really enjoying it.
Now check out this is what happens
Got
to
some
your body
extra
when you stop
supplies.
smoking tobacco. Or watch this video instead.
A New Jersey electrician who is running for a seat in the state assembly admits that, yes, he did in fact once smear poop on the doors of a daycare center, and he blamed his actions on Barack Obama. And I promise we're going to get to that in just a moment. Stay tuned for the crappy excuse. But first, more details about him and his political history, if you will. Okay? So he's 52-year-old Joseph Biso Jr. He's a Republican candidate for the 36th district in New Jersey. But he does have a lengthy criminal record that includes federal and state convictions on drug and gun charges, and also a history of financial issues. I'm not too judgmental about the financial issues, although it does appear that there might be some scheming going on here. Now, he was charged with possession of heroin and jailed for 7 days back in 2013. Then in 2016, he pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to distribute methadone. I don't know what that is, but it sounds bad. And was sentenced to 3 years of probation. Now, that's not all. In 2014, Biso was charged with possessing a sawed-off shotgun near a school, possessing a gun while committing a crime, and multiple drug offenses in Carlstadt and East Rutherford. He accepted a plea deal and admitted to having a prohibited weapon, a defaced firearm, a fourth-degree crime. He was sentenced to 2 years of probation in 2019. So when it comes to his financial troubles, he filed for bankruptcy in 2012, listing over $3.3 million in debts to over 200 creditors. I mean, their vetting process needs to improve, including more than $3,000 to his bail bondsman. Several of his properties had faced foreclosure, and court records show that he owed over $400,000 in credit card debt, more than $125,000 in unpaid business loans, more than $42,000 in unpaid federal and state income taxes, and over $2,000 in unpaid wages to employees. His name is actually Donald J. Trump. I'm just kidding. It's not. Obviously, it's a different person. But like, as I'm reading all of that, the debts to the creditors and like bankruptcy, I couldn't help but think of that. Anyway, he was sued 11 times for non-payment of bills or by his own tenants between 2011 and 2016. I mean,
Brother's got issues. So look, we're gonna get to the Obama excuse in a second, but first first I saw the
Listen up,
story,
I'm calling
and
a
it's
lifeline
Joseph
package
Bezos
team.
Jr. from New Jersey. And I thought, hey, I'm from Jersey. Let's not make any Jersey assumptions here. He had a couple of interesting issues. I got a medical issue, and then I was having medical debt. That's why I wound up selling some of the drugs that I got from that. I was like, it's a little plausible, right? And like he says, raided my house. And then, yeah, I had a gun in my house, but my house happens to be next to a school. I'm like, maybe, okay, all right, sounds close. Then you see read the rest of it, and then there's the heroin, and there's the, who made you get the $400,000 in credit card debt?
But also,
Okay, come on,
like,
bro.
who made you like a sawed-off shotgun?
Level
Yeah.
3.
When they do they saw off the barrel, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's why it's called that.
Why did they do that?
I've not done my full criminal, so I don't really know. But I think it's either because it spreads out the pellets more,
The pellets.
or whatever they're called.
Let's stop talking about
Okay, can you tell
we
that I...
lose our credibility.
Oh,
Whatever.
like I get a lot of credibility on types of bills. And even gun control debates too. There are people, the gun guys are always like, you don't even know the difference between the Beretta and the blah 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 and the blah blah blah. Why does that matter?
No, I think it matters a little bit. I should, make more of an effort.
Come and get your birthday present.
No, I don't think it matters at all. Anyways,
You call them bullets pellets, right?
no, sprays out.
Oh,
Evo shield here. Level 3.
I don't even know that. Anyways, look guys, nobody's sawing off a shotgun unless they're doing weirdo things, okay? And I like that the guy went all the way with it though. He's like, if I'm gonna have a little credit card debt, I'm not having a lot of credit card debt. And I'm like, look, I respect the game, right? He didn't go for 4,000 in debt, he went for 400,000 in credit card debt. But anyway, I'll save the rest for the Obama part.
I gotta say, just one side note, totally irrelevant to the story,
Here's
but
your
as
birthday
we're
present.
looking at photos of him, I can't help but feel that he looks like the candidate for the mayoral candidate in LA, Caruso. Doesn't he look like Caruso?
Well, first of all, you're being a little discriminatory against my
Evo
Italian
shield here.
brother.
Level 3.
What was his first name? Rick Caruso, there we go.
They both are Italians for sure.
Okay, so let's get to the poop debacle, which happened in 2009 specifically. So, back in 2009, he was caught smearing fecal matter on the doors of a child or children's daycare center. This happened in East Rutherford. Rutherford, my bad. Rutherford.
No quarterbacks.
Everyone knows that. Anyway, Bezos had a dispute with the daycare center.
Not surprising when you're
which
not with your
was
team.
Next to his business. And he said that daycare center employees harassed my men every day. They had cars ticketed every time my men parked on a side street.
Daycare center workers are well known for harassing construction guys. Don't bully the construction guys.
But also, I mean, the city isn't just going to ticket the vehicles unless they're parked illegally. So,
Rings nearby, 1 minute till close.
Thugs call it Come on.
So he decided to get even by securing handles and blocks of the child care facility. Now, after investigating officer he apologized and said, "I'm not proud of what I did." Good. I'm glad that he had a little remorse there. He said that he later locked the doors before anyone got hurt. He didn't defend
We're getting hit by two teams.
pulled this unbelievable excuse out of his ass, along with other things.
Just giving my kids a recharge.
It was a horrible time, and I mean, Obama came into office the year before.
Those are tough times, bro. When George H.W. Bush got into office, I mean, I lost it. I can't tell you the number of faces I've smeared when Poppy came in office. The first word to be fair to him, he was young, 39 years old at the time. I was young, Obama got in office. I was rattled. I said, what do I do with the food? Well, I got it from near the daycare center door. And in the beginning, I thought he was like reading a book, like some sort of like bark game or something.
Looks like a care package is coming in. Big toys in there.
Come on,
He cleaned it before anyone got hurt.
Yeah, because he got caught and they made him clean it. It's not like you change your heart. Like, come on, but
Say there is a shocking number of people who seem to immediately resort to poop for retaliation, and those people, I think they should all be rounded up and locked up, like every single one of them. Like no trial, okay?
no trial. You choose them a poop trial. That's it. Off you go.
Like I don't understand. Like there's something off about people who engage in that stuff.
You think? You think maybe there might be something off with my brother Vito here?
That guy's cracked. That guy's cracked in there.
I mean, the cojones on this guy, right? I mean, I wrote something wrong in like 1997. It still haunts me, right? This guy's like, oh yeah,
I'm spotted, taking fire.
Roughing people up and then smear the pool. So okay.
Listen up, I'm calling a
But
lifeline
on the other
packaging.
hand, George Santos, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Wilbur, like you never know. By the way, just in case anyone might get the mistake, or have the mistake of thinking that I actually want to round up people who play with food and put them in prison without a trial. Just a few of them. Send it to
Move there, Tank.
Send it, man.
Gotta clown that away.
We also want to be honest, we can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because we love you to show up. We'll be going back.
30 seconds remain. Enemy nearby.
Three teams, three people here.
One day Salvo will be free, and the next day the syndicate will be
Dougie.
Care package over there. We should go this way.
Listen up, fellas. The ring's moving and we're on the wrong side of it.
Incoming care package over there.
I think I'm in a place in my life where I can have a dog, and I don't want to have a dog, but I'm not.
You have a dog now.
Typical coloring, like,
Already inside the ring, fellas. Next round's on me.
Enemy spotted. I think we should move that way.
Movement in progress.
Lucky us. We are already inside the ring.
put the dog down.
Hostile right here.
Gonna keep watch over here. What do you say we defend here?
Round 5. Beginning ring countdown.
Lucky us, we are already inside the ring.
Yeah, I'll do that.
He does not like this situation at all.
Hostile right here.
Oh, behind me. Shit. Run!
I need skill. Already inside the ring, fellas. Next round's on me.
What? Don't like it? I'm sorry. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They ate without her? They ate without her?
Beginning ring countdown.
I feel bad because Smokey usually likes How can I go much higher? Go for a walk? I'm actually tired, but I have been walking the dogs in the hallway because the shelter said they can't go outside yet because they don't have their vaccines. So we'll just bring them all out in the hallway, and then I'll start running up and down the hallway and chase me. I'll just run back and forth like a stupid fuck. And he'll chase me and get exercise that way. Hey! Becky! Oh yeah, she's not really feeling it. She's all over but not. Come on! Yeah, she's not feeling it. You can't play with the changing the bunnies! You're a bunny, but you can't play with the bunnies! What? The bunny's not good. What do I do? The cat's taking the dog where I go. My answer's awake.
Yes, I know. Stop trying to step on my feet. Now she's happy, I think. Oh, I'm tired. I played Meteor for 3 hours today. Oh, you're so good. So many kisses. So good. You ready to shit yet? Right from now. Look at the pup. Look at the pup. They're running circles. They're gonna run in circles. Oh, you're sleepy. Because I don't know what else to do if my room doesn't have that much physical time. I feel like this is exercise more for me than for the dog. Oh, one needy motherfucker. Puppy. Louis, why'd she become needy? Are you blaming me? Are you blaming me for this? How is this my fault? How is this my fault? Explain it to me. You're weak. You're a weak kid. Go back to their favelas. You know what that is? No, you don't. That was before you were born. You guys like Bunny? Like, just be honest. Do you like her or no?
3 weeks ago, we said hi. / but soon, we'll say goodbye. / our moment together isn't forgotten. / should have those we have gotten. / yes, you may try not to cry. / as you saw the love in my heart. / disappear from your sight. / I tried to stay with all my might. / to leave a message fresh and new. / I pissed on your books, trying to tell you. / missing you will be pouring rain. / my heart will be left with harm.
How dare you? Yeah, / you.
You're so cute.
How dare you try to make me sad? Do you think that the others will redeem her? I mean, probably. Unless they're a viewer, you know, but I feel like they might not be. I don't know. I mean, the fact that Bunny is the first one to have like a super serious adoption thing makes me think maybe they're a viewer, because like, the fact that they specifically picked her when she's obviously the best one if you know all their personalities. Like, I don't know, maybe they just don't want to go like she's all girl. Very possible. There's stream sniping, dude. Imagine stream sniping my fucking dog. I will get you fucking banned. You piece of shit. Did I say my? I didn't mean it, it was really. It would be cool if we were adopted Bunny. So that they know the lore, you know. The funny lore. The funny lore. Good fun stories. Of course she's getting adopted. She's the best one. Of course only one thing. I'm proud of her. I saw a rabbit. Oh, as well as sunset? Yeah, that's probably funny. Her hush actually doesn't have a door because she broke the door. So because she broke the door, I assume that she, like, wanted to, like, just run all over the place, right? But no, she just wants to sit in front of her hush. Like she's an old woman sitting on her porch. So I let Honey just sit on the porch. She doesn't have a door anymore. She just goes in and out of her hutch freely, but she just stays in the room, so I don't mind. And she also doesn't shit everywhere, so yeah, she doesn't shoot wires. It sucks because she's such a good rabbit, like behaviorally. She goes in a litter box. She never goes outside of it. She doesn't chew on things she's not supposed to chew on, but she hates being touched, and she doesn't like people. She just wants to be left alone and just sit on her front porch like that old grumpy old woman.
Take down your targets quickly.
God, that's me right now. I just been sitting on the porch part. I barely go outside. What's your puppy's name? Hello, first time chatter. My puppy's name is Morning. Yep, definitely my puppy. And I get to. Oh my goodness, what the fuck are you doing? What is this position? Hi.
Beat him to a pulp.
Controversial, not really. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 looks like hot dog cheese. And if that sounds like a controversial opinion, people always complain about Call of Duty since the Paleolithic era, okay? So to give you a quick bit of context, my channel is not a Call of Duty channel. I don't really rely on each and every single entry being successful to pay the mortgage every year, okay? So this is coming straight from the heart. Call of Duty I've played since console. And it was in my life where I would play every single entry since console pretty religiously, right? Up until Black Ops 2,
oh my god.
I remember the hype for Black Ops 2 being massive. But after that, when COD Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, a lot of these games came out, I just simply didn't have the time nor the drive to continue playing these games year after year. I started jumping more into single-player titles and just played other multiplayer games like Titanfall, and then later on I would just play Rainbow Six Siege. But to understand, I played Call of Duties every year, okay? If it's not a launch day, it's always around Black Friday when the games are half off, okay? Now, Call of Duty to me has always been a pretty decent value, and let me explain why. Yes, it's like Madden for shooter addicts, okay? Year after year, Call of Duty is effectively the same game, okay? It's the same rough experience, right? It's a goddamn shooter, and that's what you expect. But Call of Duty games have always been a pretty good value prospect because usually you get a pretty good campaign. Even the worst Call of Duty campaigns, in my opinion, are fun. They're like the movies, okay? It's why I go to watch John Wick. I just love watching guns, action, car chases, shootouts, explosions, hot chicks. You can believe that I'm a Spike TV viewer, right? Just by saying that shit. Then, of course, you've got cooperative play. So, Call of Duty games, sometimes you get the zombies, sometimes you get the spec ops, sometimes you get the spaceship mode from COD where you're fighting alien out and shit. And then, of course, multiplayer, okay? So every year's Call of Duty multiplayer can be good or bad. Each
developer has their own spin on it. And usually back in the day with Call of Duty games, you know, you had games like Modern Warfare 2 that kept on adding maps, added weapon levels, added, you know, a bunch of unlocks over time. If you play Modern Warfare 2 on the Xbox 360, and occasionally from time to time, I'll just play MW2 with bots and just grind offline just to sort of therapeutically relax. Remind myself of the good old days on PC. You also have Black Ops where they introduce like currency system, wager matches, Black Ops 2 where they introduce like the Big Ten system, and each and every single Call of Duty game around that era had its own beautiful set of maps, beautiful set of gameplay changes, and it genuinely did feel like if you looked beyond the surface level, each and every single Call of Duty game was trying to sort of trying to make its mark, right? And it's because of that era is what's so awesome, right? There's no people today that tell you about how
I can't shoot anyone. You put them fucking right in my face, bro. What the fuck?
Shit, even Call of Duty Ghost is a fun time. But nowadays, when you look at Call of Duty, it's actually a fucking, like, I would say Call of Duty, for the most part, in today's day and age, is sort of like a microtransaction simulator with kind of a game attached onto it. So, I'll give you a quick idea. I don't hate modern Call of Duty. In fact, if anything, I kind of didn't like Call of Duty up until Modern Warfare 2019. I think that game to this day is still a very, very good Call of Duty game. In fact, in my opinion, it's probably one of the top 3 Call of Duty games in history. And I know for some people are like, opinion immediately invalidated. Look, I'm just a regular guy. Okay? I just play video games for the fun of it. I'm not a competitive player, okay? To understand, very few people in the Call of Duty space are competitive players. Okay? If you are in the space, you are earning money, you are playing at a high competitive level, yes, you are a competitive player. If you're sitting in your house, you're talking to a bot, you know, on ranked play, constantly, day in and day out, without ever actually earning a dime off the game, or getting some sort of prestige in the professional circuit, you are unemployed. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't intend to play lighthearted here. Ladies and gentlemen, I think some of that broad appeal to Call of Duty, especially back when I was growing up, has really been lost to time as the creators for the game are very much focused on hyper-balancing it, and kind of the Duty Call of Duty is almost like weak play. A lot of Call of Duty has just been based gameplay, like where people are just zipping around the map, sliding around, flying through windows, versus some of that grounded reality. And, you know, it's cool if you enjoy it. Obviously, it feels like an inferior version of Titanfall. If you really care about movement, you might as well stick to that game. But what I'm trying to come across here, what I'm trying to get across is, for the most part, if you're not in that professional esports circuit, which very few people are, your opinion of the game pretty much relegates around casual or, you know, just playing the game as it is, as a regular standard gamer. And in regards to that, a lot of games progression systems, a lot of the values used to get a lot of the PS3, 360, heck, even that early PlayStation 4, Xbox One life cycle of Call of Duty content, that's really withered away as the franchise has increasingly become reliant on live services and constantly reliant on the Battle Royale mode that it ships. It almost feels like Call of Duty in today's day and age is sort of like a second banana to Warzone, free-to-play Battle Royale game, and it's not an overall good feeling. The multiplayer feels less fulfilled, and honestly, it feels less impactful. I prefer Call of Duty. Now the money is last event, and people just move on to the game really quickly. So the player base is effectively filled with people who are probably just grinding out weapon levels so that they can upgraded loadouts in Warzone, if anything. So the recent Call of Duty game, MW 2019, was a fun game. It pretty much harkened back to old classic Call of Duties. You know, every single weapon had like 71 levels to go, so it really felt like you got a lot of bang out of progression. So if you really like that stuff like I do, I love leveling up shit. You can literally level up every single gun to your heart's content, unlocking a mass ton of attachments, play around with the gunsmith systems. You could really craft some crazy weapons from just one platform. The game had plenty of decent maps day one, all the game modes were there, and it was a fun time playing with friends. Then of course, later on, Call of Duty added Warzone, and you know, the whole situation sort of spiraled on from there. Now since then, we've got Black Ops Cold War, which was a fun campaign, multiplayer not so exciting for me. Call of Duty, what was it, the World War II Vanguard? You know, people played that shit just to level up their weapons for Warzone, cool. Then you had Modern Warfare 2, which is quite possibly one of the weakest entries in the franchise. New Modern Warfare 2, not Modern Warfare 2 2009, which is still one of the best games of all time. See, Modern Warfare 2019, the reason I liked it so much is that Activision, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer were not afraid to have some balls again. Remember, Modern Warfare 2 2009 was the game that literally popularized the ability to play an actual live terrorist attack in a video game. Probably one of the most controversial missions ever. No Russian was introduced in that franchise, in that game. See, Modern Warfare 2019 takes that mission and just throws it out, makes it look like Dora the Explorer. One of my favorite missions in the campaign for MW 2019 is Piccadilly Circus. See, a lot of people hype up Clear House because it's like, oh, you're raiding some terrorist compound and you got some decisions to make. Piccadilly literally drops you into Piccadilly Circus, the United Kingdom, has you witness a terror attack happen live in front of you as you cannot engage terrorists before they're actually a visible threat, apparently. And then, as you're playing through the mission, all you see are civilians running around. UK police officers trying to pull off this terror.
Don't do it. It's scary out there.
Why do you say that?
I'm a kid, so my last relationship obviously hasn't been great.
Do you think having a kid has hurt your chances of finding a partner?
Absolutely.
Well, at least she's honest about that.
Last person that he told me he wanted a relationship, but like a few months in, he was
The pump and dump.
like, just kidding. Like, I'm not mature enough to be with a woman that has a kid.
How old was he?
26.
Yeah, wait, you like he was mature enough?
But I wasn't asking him to like raise my child, date me.
What were your expectations in the long term?
He eventually
Oh yeah, the old bait and switch. Yeah, man, he's way too young for that. You shouldn't put the expectations on a man like that for that type of responsibility. 25. What's dating like?
Don't do it. It's scary out there.
Why do you say that?
So my last relationship obviously hasn't been great, but
Do you think having a kid has hurt your chances of finding a partner?
absolutely.
Well, at least she's honest about that.
Last person that he told me he wanted a relationship, but like a few months in, he was
The pump and dump.
like, just kidding. Like, I'm not mature enough to be with a woman that has a kid.
How old was he?
26.
Yeah, wait, you like he was mature enough?
But I wasn't asking him to like raise my child, date me.
What were your expectations in the long term?
He eventually
Oh yeah, the old bait and switch. Yeah, man, he's way too young for that. You shouldn't put the expectations on a man like that for that type of responsibility. 25. What's dating like?
Don't do it. It's scary out there.
Why do you say that?
I'm a kid, so my last relationship
I don't like how this
obviously
fucking thing
hasn't
is
been
like
great,
the same
but
video over and over. Is that how fucking the contract works? The absolute fuck. It should not be like that. It's a bad version of your app.
Hill incoming.
Hey, we call dibs on the hill. Okay, fell for that.
Hill ready.
Echo's closing in.
The hill.
Shield inbound.
How do you miss that? How do you miss that back smack? Come on.
Enemy team took the hill.
Grabbed over shield.
Shields are down. Hill
Hill controlled.
Tango's closing in.
Team took the hill. Hill controlled. Enemy team took the hill. Enemy about to score.
Closing in.
Hill controlled. Your team about to score.
Over shield inbound. Shield available.
Enemy team took the hill. Hill controlled. Enemy team took the hill. Enemy team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Enemy team took the hill. 360.
Enemy overshield is active.
Are we playing with 0 people? What the fuck is this?
Available.
Enemy about to score.
Pop their shields.
Enemy team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Hill controlled. Your team about to score. Enemy team took the hill.
Got an overshield.
Double kill.
There's only 2 left. Take the hill.
Hill controlled. Your team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Enemy team took the hill.
Down.
Hill controlled. Enemy team took the hill. Enemy team took the hill. Enemy team took the hill.
Stay mobile.
Power items incoming.
Shields are down.
control.
Power items on the field.
Your team about to score. Your team scored. The hill incoming. Hill ready. Hill control.
Oh, thank heavens. A long-range weapon.
Enemy team took the hill.
Hands down. Right chill.
Get on the hill. They've both dropped down.
Hill control.
Sniper is ours.
Your team about to score. Your team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Enemy team took the hill.
Focus shield inbound.
Enemy team took the hill.
Underneath in middle.
Hill control. Nearing victory.
That's it, sniper. Inbound. That's 7 sniper available.
Enemy team took the hill. Enemy team took
Underneath?
the hill. Victory.
All right, I'm gonna call it a night on that one, what? Take the victory.
Takakuma. Who's lying?
Takakuma?
Did someone say
Tochakuma?
you're good at this game?
Oh my god, Tochikuma's alive? What the fuck? Did you hear that? That guy talked to me. I just turned that thing on tonight because I've missed, I can't tell you how many fucking chats I've missed recently. I was about to leave because I just made grade 2, bronze, whatever. But I appreciate you coming in and saying hello. But yeah, that fucking thing worked. I actually love you for that because that's the first message that I talked. Hey, guess what, Tochikuma?
Takakuma. HS
Cheers, my friend. I haven't even drank a beer. I haven't smoked weed for like almost a month right now. My fucking doctor is all crazy and thinks that all some crazy shit's going down, so I'm trying this not smoking weed thing for her. So we'll see how that ends up. I'm going back there on Thursday. Maybe I can start smoking again. Maybe I can't. She said, oh, if nothing gets better, just go back to it. Like, dude, I'm like, I don't have an addictive personality. If you want me to stop, you saw how much weed I smoked before that. Like, if you want me to smoke, I'll stop cold turkey today. Bam. Just do it. I got willpower in this brain. Sitting here next to like 3 ounces of weed, just sitting here waiting. Like, am I gonna give that away to people, or am I just gonna go back to it at some point? Anyways, tell your wife I say hi.
Takakuma. Does doctor think weed is affecting blood pressure or something?
Maybe the blood pressure too. No, she thinks that I have something called like cannabinoid hyperesis syndrome, hyperemesis syndrome, some shit like that. Whatever. I'm like, okay, well, if you think so. And I look down the list of the fucking symptoms and I'm like, motherfucker, that is every goddamn thing. I'm like, I fit it to like fucking, I'm like, well, why didn't any doctor for the past 20 years tell me about this? Fucking assholes. I've been fucking dying for however long. But yeah, tell Crawlspace to say what's up. I'm gonna go to bed. I gotta wake up and have a conversation with my CEO boss and fucking figure out what the fuck is wrong with my pay right now, because he keeps promising me X amount and now I haven't gotten it.
Takakuma.
About to lose my goddamn
Good night.
mind on him. Good night. I'm gonna turn off my restream chat. I have this new chat app that fucking, now this thing will send me a goddamn alert so that when someone chats in there, I can be like, oh, someone actually said something. Because I can't tell you how many times I turn to my left and it's like, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see any of those. And I go, what time was that? Oh, 2.5 hours ago. Idiot. I might have gone down in my streaming, especially because now have the Restream app on so that I can actually have it streamed to both YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Kick. And fuck anyone who says that I can't do that, because clearly I've been doing that. So suck on a dick, you know. Clearly I've, you know, whatever. I don't know if they think they can enforce that rule that I can't restream or I can't multi-stream or whatever, but I've been doing it, so get fucked. But then I can get both the YouTube, you know, because if one of these companies folds up, that's where a lot of my data is. I don't have, like, I have some, I do actually have most of these locally stored as well, but I'd rather have them in the cloud somewhere as well. A cloud, meaning on someone else's server and using their storage, especially because, like, I've been streaming to Twitter now a bunch just to fuck Elon Musk. I'm like, whatever, bitch. Yeah, I don't pay for that shit. I'm costing you money just to run that service right now, to let me stream on it and just keep pushing out all that video data constantly. Get fucked, Elon. Anyways, have a good night. I'll talk to you. I'll be back at some point tomorrow, the day after, sometime.